What's up, guys? I am here today with Paul Milligan of Columbus Cars and Coffee. Reason being, well, so many of my greatest Casey stories happened right here in Columbus, hooning around with a lot of pals in exotic cars. And Paul, why are we here at the auto show?
Well, first of all, thank you for bringing the infamous or famous, depending on how you look at it, Viper.
Yes, the VinWiki Viper fame.
The VinWiki Viper is here in the house. This is really cool. This is the first time we've had an auto show booth.
Yes.
And I remember I was telling Casey earlier.
This is the Columbus International Auto Show in downtown Columbus.
International Auto Show, Columbus Convention Center.
Got it.
And as I was telling you earlier, I remember coming down to the show when I was a kid and looking at the exotics, and I knew a guy that would let me behind the barrier.
Oh.
And I would get invited to go in and check out the cars up close, and I thought that was just the coolest thing in the world. So to bring it full circle and actually have our own booth is unbelievable.
That is super cool.
We've got Lamborghini, Viper, Ferrari, McLaren, Lotus, AMG GTR,
Mercedes, Porsche,
Mercedes, 911 Turbo S, and we've got a little bit of everything here. So it's really cool.
Well, and it represents a lot of the guys in the spectrum of Cars and Coffee.
Absolutely.
And gosh, you and I met through Cars and Coffee when you first started this. That was back in the old Nelson Lamborghini days.
Yeah, we met probably like 10, 12 years ago.
Oh yeah, and that was fun. And I think it was soon after. I think the Viper might have been one of the first cars I took to this event.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Viper early on. You had the gold wheels for a while.
It had its changes.
It's had its various generations, but yeah, I mean, all the cruises, the drives, the meets, we've had a lot of fun times. Also the parties as well.
The parties were the greatest thing, and for VinWiki 2, my silver Countach I had back then, those good stories happened with Columbus Cars and Coffee.
Absolutely, yeah, those were good days.
Indeed, indeed. You know, I think one of the best nights I remember was your hangar party, the Columbus Cars out at Columbus.
Yeah, John Glenn International now.
Yeah, we had a big, beautiful hangar, good
2011, 2012
okay.
was that year.
I think the most fun was when we left, and Dr. M3 was with us from Pittsburgh. Was the Dude in Blue there too?
I think so, yeah.
And then one of the guys had an awesome, penthouse, fun place behind a bookshelf.
Yeah.
So we all got invited there. I just remember everybody ripping out, going to party. That was a great time.
Yeah, we had, dozens of exotic cars.
Yeah.
A plane, just turned the hangar into a party. I'll send you a photo you can put in here. And then went to the Batcave for that after party, and that was insane. It was like the cool, and it was very impromptu. We had not planned to do that.
That's what made it so great.
It was just like, hey, let's go over here.
That's what made it so great.
That was a good night.
And I remember you always connect with Paulie Anthony, who did his private drives. That's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
But Cars and Coffee always start with their big season opener party. I know we partied at the Ray Hall's IndyCar shop, older IndyCar shop once. That was a lot of fun. And throughout the year, I just remember so many great memories. Especially, we were both single back then.
That's true.
Married, right? We're old. But great fun, great people. Everybody there, I liked it so much because it was all dynamic people that really want to do something with their lives and their community, and then they want to enjoy their cars and go have fun and party. So we, show off streets. I remember whether it's a club or a restaurant, so you could feel good about where you're driving, feel good about the people you're around, and feel good about driving home too.
Yeah, the thing about the car community is you never know who you're going to meet.
True.
Through YouTube, through meets, drives, parties. You just never know. And there's so many interesting stories and backgrounds that really makes it interesting.
Fantastic. Can you think of anything that sticks out from you from the early days of just some fun moment of driving?
I think what's interesting is that in the early days of Columbus Cars and Coffee, that was pre-social media being as big as it is now. It was starting to be, but it wasn't where it is today. There was no Instagram, there was no, YouTube wasn't as big.
Yeah.
So when you saw one of these cars on the road, it was like a really special occasion because there was no way to connect with the owners, there was no way to see any photos of them.
That was back in the heady days of my turbine Batmobile went nuts.
Exactly.
We had that back then too.
Exactly.
But you were saying.
Well, it's interesting to me that, now it's really easy and common to find these cars online.
True,
and
all over the place.
You can follow the owners, you can meet them, you can see them out at shows. But back in the old days, people were a little more private, I think.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
People were a little more, they were less willing to kind of show off the car. It was more of a private thing. And so social media kind of changed it and made it okay to share your passion for cars.
Which was nice in a way.
Yeah, it was nice. It was less of a flashy show off, and it was more of a, hey, we all love this stuff, so let's, create a community around it.
Admittedly, that's one thing I love. We sound like old men.
Right, I know. Well, back in my day.
I remember that was what was a lot of fun because it wasn't about showing off.
Right.
It was about, we love these cars and we want to enjoy life. Let's go somewhere cool and have fun.
Absolutely, yeah, and it was really interesting. Cars and Coffee created that platform for people to get together with like-minded car owners.
True.
Get the car out on a Saturday morning, and you probably won't know a lot of the people that are there, at least in the early days, but it was like you knew you were going to get along with people and meet people, have a good time, make some new friends, and over time, of course, you'd see the same people over and over, and it just creates a community.
So it makes it super fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
But we still have that element now too. It hasn't just become a totally public show or anything like that. Obviously, we get involved, but there's still their own circles and groups and parties to go to.
There's a lot that we do that we invite everybody who wants to come. Doesn't matter if you have a car or not, or what kind of car you have. It doesn't make a difference. But then we still have things where it's like, okay, we're going to get 20 of us together and do a drive, or we're going to ship cars to Vegas and do LA and Stampede and Monterey and things like that. You know, go to Barrett-Jackson. I mean, there's these all these opportunities to split off and do fun stuff with car guys or car people.
Indeed, and you know,
guys and girls.
That's very true. We have both. And you know, the other thing neat about it is too. Obviously, there's a lot of expensive cars here, and they're flashy. But I think it genuinely is more about the person and being a real car person. You let my raggedy Viper in.
Yeah, I mean, when I was looking for cars for the auto show, I started with who do I know that I want to invite. And then we figured out what car from there. It wasn't so much like I want this McLaren and that, you know, it was like, I'm going to call it like a handful of buddies, see who's willing to do it.
Sure.
And I had suspicion of who would be willing, and I was glad that you were, so.
Well, we almost brought some race cars too, Genius Garage race cars. That was neat, but didn't quite have room this time. Yeah,
so we're, as you'll see in your B-roll shots, we're totally packed in here. So we had to kind of limit ourselves a little bit. We actually even had trouble getting these in, so.
It is packed.
We're not really, you know, we're short on space, but yeah, I think what's cool about what you're doing with Genius Garage and with your own private cars is that you have race cars, you have hand-built stuff, you have stuff you've had forever like the Viper.
True.
And so there's a little bit of everything. There's something for everybody.
Yeah, it's all what Cars and Coffee is about. So kind of closing it in, what do you want to say about International Auto Show and this year of Columbus Cars and Coffee?
Yeah, this is our 11th season of Columbus Cars and Coffee, which is unbelievable to me.
You also started Columbus Trucks and Coffee?
So it's season 11 of Columbus Cars and Coffee, season 1 of Columbus Trucks and Coffee, which we've only had one meet so far.
Fair enough.
But it was really cool. It went well.
But Cars and Coffee,
Cars and Coffee this year just continues to grow every year, first of all, thanks to you know, the support of not only our sponsors, but also all of the members that constantly post online. And we're really getting a huge community. We've got a lot of really fun events in store this year. One of the highlights I want to call out is Exotics on Scioto Mile, which is we close a bridge and do a car show.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic. It was, when is it, like third weekend in June?
It's the last Saturday in June, I believe.
I will
June
definitely
22nd.
be there this year. I'm not going to be racing that weekend.
Yeah, right? It's a great night. Last year we probably had 5,000 to 7,000 people show up. I mean, it was absolutely mobbed, and also need some photos.
Well, and it's beautiful downtown. Columbus is a beautiful city.
You've got the river, you've got the skyline, you've got the Scioto Mile redevelopment that's beautiful, and then we put a car show with that as the backdrop. It just works really well.
Fantastic. All right, well, look, guys, like Columbus Cars and Coffee, look up Paul Milligan. Come out to the auto show, see our cars, see the crazy VinWiki Viper, and I might see you here. Thanks
so much.
Hope you guys subscribe.